This is Women Take the Wheel.
Sit down, strap in, and turn on all you've got.
Nikki Clark is taking you behind the scenes.
You're ready to win. Let me tell you, these cars, they get up and go pretty good.
Introducing you to women drivers, crew members, and fans of the racing world. Plus, Nikki is bringing you the latest racing news in Indiana and beyond.
We're going to bring it to you from the tower as they get ready to pull into the beams.
From the All Indiana Podcast Network.
All right, strap yourselves in.
Woo! Getting off the track and in your ears. This is Women Take the Wheel.
Come on, baby.
With your host,
Here we go.
Nikki Clark.
Hi, I'm Nikki Clark, your host for Women Take the Wheel here on the All Indiana Podcast Network. On this episode, we're talking NHRA Junior Street Racing with Division III champion Sydnie Turner. She's only 14 and legally can't drive down the streets of Indianapolis, but she can speed down the drag strip at 100 miles per hour. So how does that work? Well, Sydnie's going to teach me all about NHRA Junior Street program and her experience in the class. We also talk about her inspiration for getting into racing, her pawpaw, Jody Beach, who's actually joining us too. Please stay tuned.
Welcome to Dunkin'.
With Amex Gold, you can get up to $84 back annually at Dunkin' locations, so your morning pick-me-up
Can I have a medium iced coffee with one
tastes even better. That's the powerful backing of American Express. Enrollment required. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/withAmex.
And welcome to another Women Take the Wheel. I know it's been a little bit, but I'm so excited. Today I have with me Sydnie Turner. How are you doing, Sydnie?
I'm good.
And Sydnie, while only 14, is already a champion. She is the Junior Street champion. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And this is for the division, correct?
Yes, Division III.
Now, you're 14 and you're drag racing
Yes.
in a real car.
Yes.
Like, what do you drive?
I drive an 06 Duramax.
Nice. And so you can't drive down the street, but how fast do you go at the drag strip?
About 100 miles per hour.
Oh my gosh. So you can drive 100 miles an hour on the racetrack, but not on the street. I love this program though. When you do this, I'm like, how many girls are there racing against you, or is it mostly boys?
It's mostly been boys, but one of my best friends is now joining Junior Street with us, which I'm so happy about. And when I traveled, there's probably about one other girl. When we were at division finals, I don't think there was another girl.
I love it. And I was at the banquet. Thank you again, the division, for inviting me. And you were the only girl out there with all the juniors, too. How exciting is that?
That was very surprising, to be honest. I was not expecting that.
I love it. And now, like I say, you can drive in the racetrack, but not on the street. So do you have to what kind of safety precautions do you have to do in your car? Do you still have to, like a regular driver, do helmet, fire suit, everything?
Yes, I do have to have a helmet and a fire suit and my fire shoes.
And we need to point out, you are not alone in the car.
I'm not alone.
So the rule is you have to have somebody in the car with you.
Yes.
Why didn't they have this when I was a kid? I'm very jealous of you right now. So, but let's take back a little bit. How did you get into racing? Like, how'd you go, like, I want to get into a car?
My papa has been racing probably before I was born, to be honest, and I started going with him since I can actually ever remember. And there's pictures of me waking up probably about 7 or 8 in the morning, getting dressed and ready to go with him to the racetrack.
Nice. But just so you know, Papa is here, and we'll get to him in a little bit. Yep. But so, did you do any other cars before this? Did you do junior dragster or anything, or you jumped right into this?
I did not do junior dragsters. I jumped straight into the truck.
Wow. And how was it for you? Were you scared at all, or were you just like, I got this?
I'd been driving since I was probably 8 or 9, and then I'd also been sitting on his lap and steering cars for as long as I can remember. So jumping in the truck and being able to go fast was not even nerve-wracking. It was so exciting.
Oh my gosh. I still don't drive. I'll be honest. There's a reason I do PR and stuff like that, because, yeah, I don't drive. Like I always tell people, ask Jason Line about me driving him in the golf cart. Yeah. Oh. I'll show you my driving skills. So, Papa, why don't we get you in here really quick and get you on the microphone. Okay. And this is Jody. How you doing, Jody?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
And you can talk into your microphone. Yeah, you don't need headphones if you don't need to. But so tell us, does she always want to go to the races, or was it something like you're like, hey, let's go?
Yeah, well, she started going with me when she was old enough to, and then would hang out with me, and so we just grew into it, and with all her sports and all that, we didn't have the time to really commit to doing the junior dragster. So I think when she was 11, we found out about the Junior Street program, and so I said, all right, we have 2 years. So we did a lot of practicing in the
Middle school.
certain parking lots.
We won't say where.
Yeah. And we just waited because that way it was easier for us because of the way that we could take and put her in the truck, which was already going to be there, and it was the right speed, the right everything for what we needed to get her going. Just because just to make sure that once we're actually doing it, that thrill was there. Because if you're not having fun doing it, there's no reason to do it.
Exactly, 100%. And are you the person who usually goes down with her?
Oh yes.
And now here's the question, because I'll tattle out my dad. I'm the youngest of 5. He did not teach me how to drive. He said, I've already had 4 kids. I can't do it again. So were you frightened when you put her behind the wheel?
Actually, no, because as we said, with Sydnie, when she was younger, I would let her drive cars around, and then we have a lot where our shop is, and I had an old car that I would let her drive that around on her own because it would move forward enough. And then I've had to move a car around at our truck at our house once, and it got stuck. So I let her drive the stuck vehicle while I pulled it out with the truck, and so it's kind of like that. I'm very confident of her skills.
Wow, you're such a good one. I'm like, my dad is. I have to be like, hey, they have faith in their girls. And now, what do you drive then? What has she been watching you drive all these years? I
have a 71 Nova that I've had since like 1985.
And you race it all over the country, or just here in the division?
Just locally. I did an NMCA in 23, and I wound up being 7th in Nostalgic Muscle through all them. So
very cool.
I get a thrill out of actually doing it. It's more the doing it than the whole everything, the pack and the getting ready. Like getting ready now for Indiana's getting ready to have in May, the 21st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. They're doing a Back to the Streets program, and so what you do is it has to be a race car, and in like my car, I'm going in an 8th mile 650 class, 6.5 seconds in the 8th mile. You have to race at the track, do so many passes, and then you will drive down from Muncie. You have designated stops you have to do, and then we're going to go. We'll race at Brown County the next day.
Oh, wow.
And then we'll come back up. So we'll be stopping at like Cohen transmissions, RPM, or Cohen converters, a lot of them. Don Schumacher Racing, and we're gonna. And it's a neat little local event, and so I like doing that. It's fun to do, and that's what I'm going to be doing here because that's my street car. Now I race it.
It's a drag and drive, basically.
Yes, it is. Yes, and that's a whole other topic that I've heard going on. Well, that whole word there, and that's something we can talk about later. So when we say drag and drive, we're saying drag and the little S symbol drive.
That is okay. That is okay. And so we'll get back into that with you too, Sydnie. So you just didn't do NHRA. You also did NMRC?
CA.
Thank you. Like, there are too many vowels in here and too many letters. But how'd you do that, too? Was that a lot of competition there for that class also?
My first race was in Norwalk, Ohio, and there was only one other, and it was actually a girl. And I lost because I did not hit the brakes. But it's okay. It's okay. I learned my lesson that time.
Yeah.
And then I came back, and I did even better when we had the finals out at Indy. And I won. And there were 2 girls there, I believe.
See, all the girls we're making the boys look bad. We're getting out there, we're driving. Like I said, my favorite drivers are women, so I just love that. And so when you go to, how fast do you go? And what's your best time so far? Because I've heard what's the slowest you can go and the fastest you can go.
So the fastest you can go is 9 seconds, but with my truck, our truck.
I like that, our truck.
So I've gone 860.
864.
864. I was not actually racing, obviously.
Okay.
It was at the U.S. Nationals, but you're only supposed to go 9 miles per hour. I'm not sure what the slowest is. I've seen so many different.
So
slowest.
Now, is it like super comp that if you break out, if you go too fast, do you lose then?
Yes. It's like a normal race. It's just kids doing it.
I am loving it. How's your reaction time? Is she good on the lights?
When we were at the Division III finals up at Summit, Norwalk, she had a perfect light, triple O.
It was literally my first test run. Like, first run there, I got a 000.
Yeah, you're way better. Oh, my God, that is so cool.
Yeah.
Look out, Dallas. We got another 000 here. Now, since you are doing this, so now what are your goals coming up? Is this like now you want to move to faster cars, or do you want to do tough, alcohol fuel? What is it looking like for you?
So I will be turning 15 before Indy's race season even starts. So we're hoping that with getting my permit before racing, that I'll be able to actually race sportsmen going into this year. Mm-hmm. But we've already talked to Mike Walker about everything, and he said there is a huge possibility that I'll be able to do that, which I'm very excited to do. But I will still probably be racing for Junior Street. After the past year, I have talked to a bunch of funny car drivers. So Matt, Alexis, and just talking to as many people as possible. They say it's a very hard but very encouraging thing to do to get into a funny car, and I'm really hoping that eventually I will be able to drive one, but even working on one or just being a part of the team is where I'm really trying to head.
Yeah, you got to get in somewhere, don't you?
Yeah.
And so something I noticed too with your junior racers here is the community. It seems like you guys are kind of like, and maybe it's just me, but I noticed at the banquet, like you all kind of know each other and you kind of support, you're a family. And is that how it is, or is it just, am I dreaming?
Well, so as we travel, I end up meeting a lot of people, especially, I don't meet as many junior people, but a lot of junior people are ending up in the Junior Street program, which I find really cool. And as I get to meet them, I get to know, so if we go to like Bowling Green and I meet people there, and I go to say a banquet that does have Bowling Green people, I'll already know them. So it is like one big family, but you still have to meet new people no matter where you go to make that family. You
got to make connections, network.
Yep.
Network. Yep. And I see Papa agreeing too. That's what I love about sportsmen is that they is family. That's what I always brag about alcohol. I feel like alcohol is like such a big family. I mean, even at the Cletus race that we have here in May, it's like they race during the day, and at the end of the night, we're all up on the hill with our drinks, watching, the race around the track, and with the junkers. But we're all, at the end of the day, we're all families. I think a little bit less than the pros, but. So then I hear you've talked to different drivers. Do you have a favorite driver?
Yes, my favorite driver is Matt Hagan. Oh my gosh. Papa does not approve, but oh well.
I didn't say I didn't approve.
You don't approve of the age.
He's a good guy. I know him. Matt's a good guy. So I do know him.
Yes.
So, and do you have any other ones that you look up to? Of course, we know you look up to Papa, but any other drivers that you really look up to?
I look up to Leah Pruitt. I can't wait to see her back in her car. And congratulations to her for the new baby.
Dom is a bit adorable.
I know.
So adorable.
I've seen. And then I also look up to Antron Brown. He's here locally. Sometimes we'll see him and his son out at a Wild Wednesday or some ET race out at Indy. Alexis DeJoria. Oh, yeah. I met her at U.S. Nationals. Someone really new that I didn't even know about, and I was like, wow, she's coming up to me and asking me questions. Like, that's so cool. And
really?
Yes. I guess they were having a documentary made about her, and they wanted to talk to the junior kids about what their experiences were, and I found that so cool.
She is. She's like, I just adore her. Like, every time. Because she also started Top Alcohol Funny Car.
Yeah.
And the ranks and same thing. So she's just so down to earth and so fun. I just adore her also. And now she's a local team, with JCM.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see her more.
Didn't Ida also recently join her with JCM?
Yes. Ida's been part of it. So now we got the girl gang going on. We'll get you over to, and JCM also has development drivers too. Kaylee Beakley, who has also been on the podcast. She's part of the JCM family too. So I'm very excited about the girl power over there. So, and now we'll ask the same question too. Do you have a favorite track? Because, like, here in the Midwest, we have so many good ones, but what's your favorite?
I love Indy as a track, but I'd say my favorite are probably one of the smaller local ones, and I'd say probably either Wagler or Brown County. Brown County is actually it's small, and it's just a fun crowd sometimes. I know some people that race there, and they're pretty fun people.
And see, here's the thing that I don't think people realize is how many drag strips we have in Indiana. I think people just think of IRP, but we have a lot more. Like, I mean, how many do we have? I don't even know how many we have here.
I don't know.
How many do you go to around the state?
Oh, I can probably think of 4 right now.
Okay, that's 3 more than I knew about. So that is very cool. Now, and this is something I always ask everybody, what advice would you have for a girl your age who's like, oh my gosh, I want to do that? What would you recommend for her?
Talk to your parents. Tell them about the sport. Just bring it up. Talk about, especially your dad. I bet your dad loves cars. So talk to your dad. Be like, Dad, I seen this cool new program, and it's cars and it's racing. You get to go fast, and you get to do it together. You get to build a big relationship with that person that you end up doing it with.
I absolutely love that, because it just brings you closer together. So and as we talked about, you are on social media. Tell people where they can follow you and follow your journey in your race season.
My Facebook is a really big one. You can just look up my name, and everything that I do is on there because of family. Also, my Instagram is definitely out there with a bunch of racing, and you'll see sports I do, and you'll see I'm always trying to post like events out there that's happening even at the smaller tracks. And then me and my friends that I'm close to with at IRP, we have a TikTok that we're trying to start where we'll go around at racetracks and interview winners, or even at U.S. Nationals, we'll go interview like the big racers, and then we're just trying to get to know people.
What's the name of the TikTok channel?
It's called Top Interviewers.
I like that. I'll have to look that up. And you spell out your name for your Instagram and Facebook too, because you spell your Sydnie different than I spell it.
I do. I spell it Sydnie.
See, so that's easy. And Turner's just
Turner.
There we go. And so that's where you can find her, and you can look her up. And I think we're going to be hearing your name a lot more. And I can say, like, 5 years down the road, she was on my podcast. I talked to her.
Yes.
So thank you so much for coming today, and I can't wait to see what you're up to this summer. I'll find you at the track.
Thank you.
Thank you again for listening. I'm Nikki Clark, and this is Women Take the Wheel. Be sure to connect and follow on Facebook when you search for Women Take the Wheel podcast. And be sure to follow and subscribe to this podcast right now on the All Indiana Podcast Network.
From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is Women Take the Wheel with Nikki Clark. Follow and subscribe to this podcast now and discover even more great podcasts on the All Indiana Podcast Network. Online at allindianapodcastnetwork.com. allindianapodcastnetwork.com.